Hey guys, welcome to episode 1.5, our Halloween special. We were gonna have this as like an in-between thing, but we recorded an episode, and once again we had technical difficulties.
Unfortunately. So we had to scrap the whole thing because last time we had a lot of people complaining that Daniel's voice was really low. And so, the solution for that was really simple because on the camera there's like a little wheel. Yeah, you just turn up the volume, and his was like low for some reason. So what we did the next time we did a podcast, we made sure to like turn it up all the way up, and we did that. But for some reason, his voice was just like extremely loud, like for no reason whatsoever. Like the audio was like severely clipped, and like it was just not usable whatsoever. So, it was like a 30-minute podcast, and we had to scrap the whole thing because of that issue. But we're still learning. We're in the process.
We've only done it twice, so
So we're gonna reshoot that whole
process.
episode with our guest. A lot of y'all might know who he is already, but he's
we have
really
other special guests lined up who y'all don't know.
Yeah, we have two more that are coming up very soon, in this next coming month. So
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, a lot of new content coming out.
So
Also big shout out to Heaven for being an awesome first guest. The amount of attention and exposure we got from the first episode was just crazy, and a big part of it was because of Heaven. So thank you, Heaven,
and thank you guys for watching.
Thank you guys.
And we got a lot of exposure. It's kind of crazy. We did not expect that.
Yeah.
We were blown away.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
It was awesome. So basically what we're going to do in this episode, we're just going to tell like two spooky stories because, Halloween. Get into the spirit of Halloween a little bit. So yeah, let's get into it.
All right. So you're going to start?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and start with one of my own personal stories. And then we're going to talk about like a story from one of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
His story is crazy, man. Oh my God. Okay. We'll get into it later. Anyways, so I'm just going to go ahead and start. So for those of y'all who don't know or haven't heard of sleep paralysis, it's basically you fall asleep and then you wake up, but like you're paralyzed and you just can't move like at all. You're just like in a paralyzed state, and like you're conscious, but you're like not conscious, so you're awake, but you're not really awake. So your brain's just like going crazy, man. And I'm sure y'all have heard like some of y'all who might have heard of sleep paralysis like associated with like really scary things happening while you're having it.
Some people have probably had it.
Yeah, some of y'all might have had it, and if you do know, if you've had it, like, how much it sucks. Because those scary things, like, they are true. Like, they happen, at least for me, and at least in my experiences, and for everyone else who's had it. Daniel's had it before once.
Yeah, once.
And he heard some
scary.
He heard some screaming or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I saw a body next to me and stuff. I was like...
Yeah, exactly. So, this has been a really consistent thing with me. Like, for some reason, I've had it multiple times, and I can't tell you why. It's just, I don't know. It could be possibly from, like, childhood trauma. Because, growing up, I would watch Ghost Adventures a lot, and I would read scary books. And I would just, like, I was really into, like, that paranormal stuff, man. And, like, ignore that bell.
I'm not restarting.
Yeah. But, yeah. So, yeah, I was really into that paranormal stuff. And... I'm pretty sure, like, that's probably, like, because, like, this paranoia, because I was a paranoid kid because I watched all that stuff. And I guess that paranoia, like, carried over and, like, transferred onto, like, I don't know, my dreams. So it would show up.
I used to have nightmares. I never had sleep paralysis, but I had, like, a lot of nightmares.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like, yeah, that's a side effect, I guess, because it transfers onto, like, your nightmares, and it shows up mostly there. But, yeah, for me.
Psychology.
Yeah, for me, it showed up in the form of sleep paralysis and nightmares. I still have nightmares, like, kind of commonly, unfortunately, but sleep paralysis not as much anymore. But there was periods of times where I would have it back to back.
What was the scary experience?
Well, I have this one scary experience that sticks out from all the other experiences because, like, you'll see. So basically, I'm not sure what time it was. I'm pretty sure it was, like, really late at night. But... basically what happened was I had sleep paralysis, of course, and
Of
I woke
course.
up, and my first instinct whenever I have sleep paralysis, well, at least back then, because I used to live I used to share a room with my brother, and we had bunk beds. So my first instinct would to be, well, I was on the top bed, my bad, and so my first instinct would be to like turn on the light, cause like the light's like right there, you know, and like, but like you can't, cause you're like paralyzed. I'm literally like this, like trying to like snap myself out of it so I can reach and like turn on the light. To I don't know. So that would always be my first instinct. And also another thing I would do was like I would try to like scream, so like my brother would hear me. So I don't know. This fool would never hurt me. Not a single time. I've had it so many times, and my brother's knocked out. He does not hear me at all. Like, cause when you have sleep paralysis, you start like hyperventilating, and just like making weird noises, bro. But like not a single time did this fool wake up. I mean, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, cause he would have been freaked out seeing me like that. But yeah. So that would be my first instinct. So so I was having it, and I was trying to do that, and I couldn't. But basically what I was seeing, when I was having it was just like, I didn't really think too much of it at the time, because you always see crazy stuff when you have sleep paralysis, always. So, but this time it was a little different, because like I've had it so much, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna test something out. So I was thinking in my head like things to try to make things appear, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like to see if it was like I was controlling it, or if it was something like mental and not something like actually paranormal happening. So in my brain I was like, all right, I'm gonna make a bunch of numbers like show up right here. And so like, yeah, I did that. I'm like, and then a bunch of numbers showed up. And so I was like, that kind of like made me like a little
Black
less.
Ops 1.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I controlled that. But another thing that was happening. So I was seeing all these numbers, these whatever, on the side right here. But at the same time, over here on the side of my bed, because I was laying like this, and I was seeing all the numbers over here, and the bed over there, on the side of the bed, all you see is like as if someone was like had their hand and was just like moving the sheets like rapidly. Yeah, like
Boo.
and that's like normal. Like you see weird crap like that. So it didn't really faze me. But what fazed me was that in front of me, I saw the skull of a ram, and like just like floating in front of me, and like it was transparent, and it had like two red eyes. It had like red eyes, like the cliche. And to give you guys an idea of more or less how it looked like, I guess y'all know like the car brand Ram, like the little symbol. That's how the that's how it looked. And it was in front of me, and it was the skull, and it was like transparent for some reason. And so I was looking at this thing, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And I didn't think too much of it because I had no idea. So yeah, that happened, and I forgot about it. But then come to find out a couple months later that skull that I saw was actually something real. Like, it's a real satanic symbol that's like really common apparently. And I saw that in the dream state of sleep paralysis, and I had no idea what the heck that was.
You're being haunted.
Yeah, like even though like I can't explain that to you, I don't know, because even though I was controlling some of the things I was seeing, there's no way I would have come up with that. So it was just right there, and then come to find out months later, I see that image, and I'm like,
you're being haunted.
yeah, I was like, what is that? So yeah, that happened. It's really freaky.
Then you fought it. You got sick and tired of it, and you fought it, right?
Well, yeah, I guess. That's another story.
Sometimes you see shapes, and this guy was like,
yeah. So
tired.
That was one of the experiences I had. That was one of them. Another experience I had was I had sleep paralysis for a period of 3 nights in a row. So I had it like back to back to back. And man, when you've had it as many times as I have, like you just get tired of it. Because it's like the same thing. Like you keep seeing the same like scary stuff. So I was getting fed up. Like straight up, I would get sleep paralysis and I would be mad. I'd be like, oh man, this again. Like, oh. And so I had it 3 nights in a row. And like each time I would be a little bit more angrier than the last. And like the third time I just like snapped. Like I really snapped. Cause for like these 3, I would always see like I don't know how to describe it. It's just like a figure,
Like a dark figure.
like like a dark figure on this side of my peripheral vision, just like standing there. And for some reason, like, cause at this point I'm like, okay, it's on my head. I don't care. I'm just gonna like get mad. I'm not even fighting it anymore at this point. So on the third time, you know, I snapped, man. Like, I just got really mad, and I was having the sleep paralysis, and like, I don't know. I just like, in my mind, I guess I was like fighting the thing. Like, even though I was like this, like I was like throwing punches like through my brain or something at this like sleep paralysis figure. And like, man, like as I was doing that, like I felt so much like tension. Like if it was really there, like if it jumped on top of me and was like boom, 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 and like I was just like throwing punches, and like that's what I felt like. I know it sounds ridiculous because I can't even.
Scary.
I don't know. It just sounds stupid when I talk about it. But I like in my brain, I wasn't physically doing this. I was laying there like paralyzed. But in my head, I was like throwing punches, and it was like it got on top of me, and then like, you know, I snapped out of it, and I was just like, oh, man, what the heck just happened? And
it finally stopped, right?
No, it didn't stop, but it slowed down after that. So yeah, that was another experience. Daniel thought that one was really funny when I told him. Yeah,
that was really funny.
Sleep paralysis is the scary thing, but you get used to it. Just if you ever have it, or if you've had it, just know that it's like mostly mental. Although I can't explain the RAM thing.
Never give up. You gotta fight it.
Yeah, like I literally fought it, man. I don't know if that made any sense to you guys. Probably didn't. Anyways.
So turn off the lights and get ready.
Yeah.
For scary story.
I turn them off?
Yeah.
All right. You go ahead and start that. So yeah, those were my two experiences.
Okay, so
Daniel's gonna tell you this story.
So we have a student here. He goes by the name of Legrand, and he told me this story because I was like, "Does anybody have any scary stories?" And he's like, "You know, I just found out about this story that my parents like, well, not recently, but like they told him at a later age what happened." So basically, he was like a 7-year-old kid or whatever. He said his dad had like a big house.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. He said like it was like I don't want to butcher his story. So he just had a big house, and this one night he goes to sleep, right, and he's just sleeping. Right, he's sleeping, and then I don't know if you guys know what this is, but he had like an astral projection episode. So basically, like he's sleeping, right, but then like he's like in this dream state to where like he's waking up, but like he sees his body, and he's basically like outside of his body within his dream. And like he said, he was like walking around his house and stuff. Yeah. And he was just being like a curious kid around his own house. And so like he's walking around, and then he sees this ladder that he's like never seen at his own home.
He didn't
before.
even know it existed. He didn't know that ladder was even there.
Yeah. And so he sees it, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna climb it." You know, he's a kid. And so then he goes to climb it, right? And then like he gets to the attic area, and then he's looking, and he sees like a figure, and he's like, "Oh, I see somebody. It's like somebody in like red and white." And then he's like, "Whoa," he gets scared, and then like, so he wakes up in real life. Now it's real life, and so he's like, "I'm gonna go check it out in real life."
Yeah.
'Cause like, you know, curious kids or whatever. So he goes, and like he walks in the same area, and then he sees the ladder, and he didn't even know it was there before. Like, he had no idea, and it was like there. So like he somehow like found out within his dream or something that like a ladder was there. So he climbs the ladder, and then he sees somebody there for real. And then he's like, "Oh my God." So he goes to tell his mom, and his mom is like, "Are you sure it wasn't a dream?" And he's like, "No, like this is for real. Like for real. Somebody's in there." And so he says that he and his mom step out of the house, and she calls the cops, and then cops get there, right? And then the cops go up, and then they find, did you say like 4 people, right?
It was 4 people.
4 people.
In this dude's attic.
And
in his house.
What they had been doing was they were like taking the kitchen knives and stuff, and like the family thought it was like, I think he said like his siblings went on vacation or whatever, and they thought like they took like some of the appliances or whatever. Yeah. So they were like, "Oh, okay, they took them or whatever." So they weren't really like cautious. Mm-hmm. And so the police get up there, and then like he said like one of them got shot.
Yeah. He heard gunshots.
And some of them like ran off or whatever. But it's just crazy because like
up there, what they were doing up there, doing like heroin.
Yeah.
They were doing drugs. Yeah, I don't know. So
And I forgot to mention, he like, so how that kind of started was like he always felt like he was being watched until his dad got home. So I guess like his body just got like a heightened sense of like I need to like look around for my surroundings.
Yeah. So, we have a clip of him telling the story. Should we show it?
I don't know, cause I basically told it.
Yeah.
But if you see LeGrand, know he has a superpower.
Yeah.
So don't mess with him.
Yeah, it's only happened to him that one time, and it's
kind of a crazy, spooky
story. It's a really scary story. Well, yeah.
I mean, he could have like they might have been planning something. But shout out to LeGrand for your superpower.
Yeah.
You saved your family.
Yeah. So that's about all the stories we have. I hope y'all found them like at least somewhat remotely spooky.
Ooh, we're gonna add sound effects. It's gonna be like. We just wanted to give y'all something. Okay, guys. So the scariest thing happened. We had another technical difficulty. The SD card got full, and as you can see on the screen, or as you can see, audio ran out. So we're just talking into nothing, and it's kind of ironic because we were literally talking about how we had technical difficulties. But it's whatever. You know, we're learning, we're growing. And it happens. Like if you've ever tried to film anything or record anything, literally every single time something's gonna mess up. But we're learning, we're getting better. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has watched it and who has promoted it. We've been blown away. This was a little fun Halloween thing. See you soon in the next episode.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Thank you.